Chapter 1. The Boy at the Edge of the Forest. Everyone in Calmwood knew 12-year-old Eli Turner as the boy who never stopped walking. If he wasn't running errands for neighbors, he was scavenging near the forest for scrap metal or bottles he could sell for a few coins. Eli lived with his grandmother in a one-room wooden shack at the edge of town, where the road cracked into dirt and the trees began to swallow the sky. That afternoon, the sun burned low and orange as Eli followed a narrow path he had never dared to take before. He had heard rumors from older boys, whispers of an abandoned car deep in the forest. Some said it was cursed. Others claimed it once belonged to a rich man who vanished without a trace. To Eli, it sounded like opportunity. He pushed aside hanging vines and thorny bushes until the trees opened into a small clearing. And there it was, a rusted car, half swallowed by nature. Its once shiny paint had peeled into flakes. Vines crawled through broken windows, and moss blanketed the hood like a green blanket. Eli's heart pounded. He had never seen a real car up close before, only pictures in old magazines. He stepped closer, barefoot feet crunching leaves. The trunk was slightly open. Eli hesitated. His grandmother always warned him, some doors hide blessings, others hide trouble. But curiosity pulled stronger than fear. He reached out, fingers trembling, and lifted the trunk. What he saw made him gasp. Inside were old leather bags, untouched by time. No animals, no rot, just dust and silence. Eli's eyes widened as he reached in and unzipped one of the bags. It wasn't scrap. It wasn't trash. It was money. Bundles of old, neatly packed bills stared back at him like something from a dream. Eli stumbled backward, falling onto the dirt. His mind raced. Who would leave this behind? Why was it still here? Then he heard footsteps. Eli froze, heart hammering louder than the forest itself. Chapter 2. Secrets Buried in Steel. Eli scrambled behind the car, pressing his back against the cold metal as shadows stretched across the clearing. The footsteps stopped. A man's voice muttered something low and angry, peeking through the vines. Eli saw a tall figure in a worn jacket, scanning the area with sharp eyes. The man looked dangerous, scarred hands, clenched jaw, and a face hardened by years of bad choices. Eli held his breath. After a long moment, the man spat on the ground and walked away. Eli didn't move for several minutes. When the forest fell quiet again, he crept back to the trunk. His hand shook as he zipped the bag closed. He couldn't carry it all, but he could take some. He grabbed a small bundle, stuffed it into his torn shirt, and ran. That night, Eli barely slept. The money lay hidden beneath a loose floorboard as his grandmother snored softly. Questions burned his mind. Was it stolen? Dangerous? Would someone come looking for it? The next morning, Eli tried to act normal. He bought bread, medicine for his grandmother, even shoes, his first real pair. People stared. Whispers followed him. By evening, trouble arrived. 2 men stood outside their shack. One was the same man from the forest. "Boy," he said calmly, "where did you find it?" Eli's throat went dry. Chapter 3. The Price of Silence. They took Eli back to the forest. The man introduced himself as Marcus Kane, a former driver for a criminal ring that collapsed years ago. The car, he explained, was used to hide money during a police raid. Everyone involved either went to prison or disappeared. The money was meant to stay buried, Marcus said, eyes dark, until I came back. Eli expected threats, violence. Instead, Marcus made an offer. "You help me get it out quietly," he said, "and I'll give you a cut. Enough to change your life." Eli thought of his grandmother's failing health, the leaking roof, hunger, but he also thought of fear. "I don't want stolen money," Eli said. Marcus laughed bitterly. "Son, this world isn't built on clean hands." That night, Eli made a choice that would define him forever. Chapter 4. Running toward the light. Instead of helping Marcus, Eli ran to the police. The truth spilled out in sobs and broken sentences. Officers followed him to the clearing. The bags were recovered. Marcus was arrested trying to flee town. News spread fast. They called Eli brave, honest, different. The money was seized, but the story didn't end there. Chapter 5. A Future Rewritten. A local journalist shared Eli's story. Donations poured in. Scholarships were offered. His grandmother received proper medical care. Eli moved into a small but clean home provided by a charity. He returned to school. For the first time, he dreamed beyond survival. Sometimes, he still visited the forest. Not for money, but to remember how close he came to losing himself. Chapter 6. The Boy Who Looked Inside. Years later, Eli stood in a graduation gown, applause roaring around him. He looked out at the crowd and smiled. The abandoned car still rusted in the forest, but its power was gone. Because the real treasure wasn't inside the trunk. It was the choice a poor boy made when no one was watching.